Hello. It's June 12th. I looked it up. This is Leah. That's my name. These are playing cards, Picture Book of Anna Cortez, and I am going to do our reading for this week for how we're going to take care of ourselves, our homes, our communities, and our families. This is the last week we've got before the summer solstice. I think there's been a lot of kind of settling and realizations and in my own personal world, I feel like I've had a real values alignment over the last week or 2 weeks that's felt unexpected, considering I thought I was in line with my values prior. And I'm seeing maybe I've been acting in ways that feel incongruent now that felt congruent a month ago. And so I'm adjusting and it's felt really good, but sometimes that can be really hard. So just getting you up on what I feel the energy has been before I even look into what the energy is going to be. So I'm going to do some shuffling. I'm going to pull a card first for our communities and the larger world. So this for you will make sense. You'll know if this is something in your actual town. This is something to do with your neighbor. Is this something to do with somebody that you've been working with? If this is something to do with politics, the world at large, other countries, you'll feel it, you'll know. Um, so I try to keep that one as broad as possible. The next one is our family and our home and like our inner circle. So if like you're really close to your neighbor, that person might show up in the second card. Whereas if your neighbor is like a new person to you and you're not close to them, they might show up in the first card. Then the third card is yourself and how to best take care of yourself in this week. So the idea is we're working with all the energy that we're given and what's around us this week. And this is the best way to take care of ourselves and those around us in that particular energy that we've been given. Whoa, Saul is jumping out. Okay. Wasn't it? Okay. Family. I mean, outer circle. We've got this sort of healing again. We've had this recently. Maybe last week. Dango, he's been hanging. So he's in the family. And then this decided they told me just to go all in a row. And then Fortuna for ourselves. I like that. I like that. And then we have Saul who jumped out of the deck. So he's just gonna go over here. We'll figure him out as we go. Peep that bottom of the deck. We got a Sword of Truth. Okay. I'll put Saul over here. He wants to hang. Okay. Here we have our reading of just the three basic cards, not Saul that jumped out. He'll tell me what he's about in a minute. So we have the Sword of Healing and how we are connecting with our circle, our community, the larger world, and I am really connecting right now to this water. We might get some water news over the next week that like some scientist in some place has gotten better at figuring out, okay, Fortuna, we'll get to you. Figured out something to do with the ocean, cleaning the ocean. That like really struck me right now. And then the other thing I'm getting in water is the ripples, is just focusing on creating ripples and not changing everything. So we're all, if you're following me, most likely you have a deep amount of grief about what's going on in the world. And loss of what could have been if we had a different leadership in the global scheme of things. And also like an awareness that some of this is a peeling back of oppressive structures that have always existed. So we're able to see them a little more clearly. So hopefully, as bad as this is, it can bring us toward actually a better future. I would have preferred it didn't happen, but that there's some type of healing to come out of this situation, and not just the repairing the harm that has been caused in recent history, but repairing harm that has been caused for 1,000 years. I'm hearing, the chatter on the internets is people are like, oh, the patriarchal system, the white supremacist system that started at this point is getting played out here. Like these are structures that have been in existence for thousands of years, and this is their like this is a culmination point of them of the non-function of that, the harm of that. And I am sure that we've hit multiple culmination points of this harm. Can we take this time to, like a wave, whoosh, actually wipe it clean? Actually go somewhere new? Um, moving forward with systems that we know are less oppressive, systems that we know work, and then adding in fresh perspective that we have now. I would love to do that. That's huge. That's the ocean. I'm not the ocean, but I'm a raindrop. I can be a ripple. Focusing on the small things that you can do as to not get overwhelmed and also to get engaged. Because if you can, and I'm talking specifically to people who haven't been involved and it feels so big, and you think, okay, I want to protest the regime, but I don't feel comfortable stopping traffic and getting arrested. To be fair, I think that that's really important. To do that is a very important thing. But if you immediately jump to, well, I can't quit my job and go, be a senator, then yeah, you're going to keep yourself stuck because you're trying to solve an ocean problem by being an ocean. We're talking about raindrop stuff here. We're talking about a ripple. What can you do that will ripple out? And that ripple will work on you as well. So, when you want to run a marathon, you don't immediately go jumping into a marathon. I mean, I saw somebody do that once, but you run a mile, right? You start with couch to 5K, and it grows on you. And if you get through a certain point, you go, this isn't for me. I don't like running. I'd rather bike. Well, you go bike. But if you didn't start running, you'd never have gotten on that bike, maybe. So this is saying, like, if you want to be affecting the world and you feel frozen, be a ripple, be a drop, start something, add to something. I mean, start for yourself. There's so many things started. Find those things, support those things. Take one step, and that will ripple out and it'll affect other people. And then it'll come back and it'll affect you as well. And that ripple is going to make the wave. And the wave is what we need. So this is someone's pushing the sword out of the lake, right? This is like Lady of the Lake energy, handing that sword up to you so you can take the sword. But what I'm focusing on this week, because that's what the intuitive reading's about, right? It's not about this. I've talked about this another time. Today I'm seeing this. It's that ripple. When that sword comes out of the lake, the ripples hit the bank. So that's how we're connecting to the community. It's that ripple energy, and also maybe not stopping a ripple, right? If you see someone's doing something that is helpful and maybe it's not exactly the way you want to do it, you don't have to stop the ripple. You can just add a different ripple, right? Yeah, and follow up if there were things that you had tried to volunteer for in the past and like didn't hear back. These people are swamped sometimes. Follow up, go back. There's a little bit of a returning energy here. So it's like it ripples out, it ripples in. So have you sent out some ripples that you need to follow up with to see if they're coming back in? So that's community, that's neighborhood, that's huge stuff. It's like vast. It's like when you're like, when I say this is our community, and it's a very global thing, like if you're imagining the vastness of space and and we're the planets, like your Earth and the communities, the vastness of space. I could be talking about the moon, or I could be talking about, an undiscovered galaxy light years away. So that's what I mean. This is huge or it's close. You'll know because you are hearing this for you. And this is our family. And this is Dango. He's a showman. He's doing a little walk on the fire. This is my children. They're very much like this. They're like, why are you walking on a flaming tightrope while unsheathing a sword? Like, is this necessary? Do we have to be this showy? Apparently we do this week. So what I'm seeing here for us in our weeks is this is kind of a little bit of playfulness. This guy, he brings that energy of like the class clown, but the deadly class clown. And what I mean by that is he could be a bully or he could be a protector, but he's using humor and showmanship to deflect oppression or direct oppression. Is the all of the jacks, they've like got that young male energy, whereas the ladies have young female energy. So we have these two. These are actually very well matched as like two different energies that have kind of a similar forward nature to them. They're both very forward facing. You see their full faces. That's not true for all of these cards. So he is coming forward. He's very strong. He's very proud. He's very masterful of the things he's masterful of. And he's still learning other things like compassion and general thoughtfulness, right? He's a little bit intense. He's a little bit overwhelming because he hasn't had the age, the time to learn when subtlety is important. But to bring him out into this card and how this is going to affect our families and how we can best use this energy for ourselves and our families to get the best out of this week possible, I'm seeing number one, entertainment. A movie, a play, a circus is in town. There's gymnastic show. I don't know. Where I live, our we haven't even had our last day of school yet. So like our Maycember energy is now. So like there's been gymnastic shows every weekend. There's recitals. There's the talent show last week for my kids' school. And let me tell you, or this week, let me tell you, there's a lot of this energy of like, here I am, check out my skills. It like maybe the skills weren't actually there to back it up, but they were there and they were proud. And so what I'm seeing is show up as you are in the best light and be proud of it. So I'm a halfway decent singer. I can sing in front of people. And generally, I get really like self conscious about singing with a band because I'm not used to it. So I'm much more comfortable singing by myself. And am I the best singer in the room? Probably not. But I am the one who's willing to get up and do it. And I think there's a little bit of that. Like maybe you're not the best tightrope, slinging a sword walker in the town, but you might be the one who's going to get up and do it. And there's a bit of just like acting before maybe you're perfectly ready and seeking entertainment and liveliness and joy. So for our families, I'm rambling because I feel like I'm trying to land this plane somewhere, which is for our families and for ourselves and for our actual homes. There's just a bit of let's be proud of what we've accomplished. Let's be proud of who we are. Let's not hide behind our failures and let's just be like, these are our successes, right? Like, what have you done that you're proud of that you could show off? And maybe that's not your normal way of being. Maybe you've been taught to be humble and to not share that energy loudly. But this week, try it on. And definitely for your kids, heap them with praise. Have they done something that deserves praise? Heap it on. Let's go for it. Let's go gold stars all the way. And Um, I'm seeing the fire because my husband and I were talking about what we wanted to do this weekend, and we have some obligations and we have some like free time. And I was like, oh, we have like a whole chunk of free time this weekend. Do we want to go camping? Like, do we want to just like go camp for the night? We live near many campsites. Like, we could just go at like, 1 o'clock, set up a campsite, camp for the night, and come home the next day at like 10 and just like a real quick, like, boom, let's be in the woods for the night. And we talked about it a little bit. And I was like, you know what I'm actually after? It's not the whole experience, but I just want to sit with the family in the evening and just like watch the fire instead of a movie. I want to just like be outside. I want to do what we would do for camping. And so we decided to do that. We decided to plan that out so that it's not just a happenstance, but it's like, this is the plan for tonight. So if my daughter's like, hey, can I have a friend over? I'll be like, yes, but let them know that we're going to be outside having a campfire and we're going to be out late. Because that's really what I was after. I was after like this family feeling of togetherness and like quiet too. And we can give that to ourselves without leaving to go camping. Sometimes going camping is the right choice, sometimes it's not. So, fire also for me personally. Maybe that's helpful for you. I don't know. Maybe that was helpful. Fortuna. Fortuna. I feel like I'm very Fortuna right now. Fortuna is very fun. She's flirty. She's having a great time. She's not particularly concerned about what she's doing. And I love that for us this week because we've been really concerned about what we're doing. And we've had a lot of really heavy weeks. I mean, if you've been following me, I'm going to make a playlist tomorrow or something when I'm just like tootling around of all of the times we've gotten a death or a grieving card because my goodness, we have had some heavy weeks. And this is even a little heavy with the ocean. He's not. She's not. That's great. I love that. Let's just play for a week, okay? I'm not even going to get into her too much. I think she's telling us just enjoy it. It's June. Smell some flowers, wear a flowy dress, skip around to find a little corner of time to just like go do something just purely because you enjoy it. The clubs are air. They're also very thoughtful. It's like a very heady card. And then this guy that fell out of the deck, he is like the most bookish man. I love him. He's very much my guy, my kind of person. Just reading all the time, learning, knows so much about so many things. And his daughter's just like, let's go. Okay, I read the book. I don't care. He's like, but are you ready for your alchemy lesson? She's like, yes, I aced that. Let's go dance. Like, she's brilliant, but she's not bothered. And we can be brilliant and we can put down the bother, right? We can hold all of the pain of the world. And at the same time, it is so important for us to just put it down and dance. Do what you like to do. Do you like to go dancing? Is that an edge for you where like maybe you'd love to do it, but you haven't for a really long time, so maybe I can't? Go do something similar enough. Go find joy, even for the briefest moment, that's just so free for you. Running on the beach, going for a swim, going on a roller coaster, going, um, telling your family that you're off for the night, shutting your door and reading a book. Just do it. Just find out. Just see if you can. This is about seeking pleasure and not necessarily worrying about the consequences. And obviously, don't hurt yourself. Don't put yourself in harm's way. There are consequences to certain things. I would never say there aren't. I'm one of the most ridiculously careful people you've ever met. It's actually overwhelming sometimes, but I do love a good time. I do love a roller coaster. I do love running down the beach and giggling and getting into water fights. And you can hold this weightiness and this carefulness and this like weariness sometimes and balance it with the silliness and the lightness and the fun. Um, and I think that's great. I think that we all deserve a little bit of fun this week. So, Saul popping out, I think he's a little bit of like the overseer of the whole thing. He's a little bit like, okay, this is my daughter. Maybe they're dating. I don't know. We can think about these as like teenagers and what are they getting up to? Who knows? And so he's like a little bit of a supervisory guy who's like, okay, I'm just gonna make sure that all this stuff moves smoothly. He's a little bit of the overseer of the week. And he's very thoughtful. He's very wise, and he can sometimes be a little bit emotionally removed. Um, which is why I think it's really cool that we have this sort of healing, because that's very emotional. And then our bottom of the deck energy is the Sword of Truth, which we've been pulling him in a couple of different readings as well. So I think with these two overseeing like kind of this energy of like this energy is in this direction, these are like really thoughtful, really magnanimous cards of like trying to care for those in the world, where he can get a little bit selfish because he's just so in his head and he thinks he's the smartest guy ever, and maybe he is, but you can't just be the smartest guy ever. You have to also have to have the heart involved. That like that's overseeing this situation. So if you go out and you're celebrating and you're having a wild time with your family and you're telling them how great you are and you're just like, wow, I'm having the best time, just know that that is held down by this thoughtfulness, by this care for the community and healing and bringing truth to the front of the, like bringing all of the truth that needs to get brought up is getting brought up. The healing is coming. We can have a great time this week and know that it's anchored in something very real and something very conscious. So go forth, be loud, be proud, have fun, change the world. That's it. That's the reading. I feel like it was a little long this week, but apparently I had a lot to say. So have a great week, and I will see you next week for the week of the solstice. It's finally real summer. I love real summer, energetically love summer. Not a big fan of the heat. That's why I live in Maine. But I will be here next week in this chair, and then the week after that, I'll be on the beach real close to my house. Love that for me. And then it'll be July. I know I don't usually like talk like the future like that, but it's just I just feel this pull toward the summer right now, which I'm digging it. Okay, finally, I have the family retreat, and I was talking with my co-leader yesterday, and we came up with kind of our narrative arc and a little bit of what we're going to be working on. So I have room for 7 families. Each family gets its own room. So that's it. When there's 7, that's it. And it's up here in Maine in the mountains in the fall in October. So the leaves will be changing. It will be gorgeous. There will be activities for kids at the same time that there's activities for adults, and we will all be walking a intuitive or an intentional path toward creating a family culture that we really love. So the theme or the goal for the weekend is to create a family culture that you can take home for the holidays, that like really feeds your family, so that you're not going blowing all over the place because you don't actually have your family values like dialed in as a family. So we'll all be together um, for 2 full days, 3 nights. It starts Thursday night. Everyone can arrive at any time. We'll start on Friday morning, and then we will end on Sunday morning. So by like 10, 11, you'll all go. Um, but over those days, it will be a truly transformational experience for your family and you all together. My reason for this is that I myself have gone on these like transformational weeks, transformational weekends. I have so many internal shifts. I come home and I need to figure out how to fit the new person into the old life. Um, and the old life needs to shift around me, and it can be really painful. Um, not the worst, obviously, because I keep doing it, but there's some rubbing there. And wouldn't it be so cool? This is my thought. Wouldn't it be so cool to just bring your whole family? And then your whole family maybe has to fit back into your old life, but you're together in that experience. And so that is the goal, is to bring the whole family through the experience. And at the same time, as a parent, like having all of the food decisions taken care of, and having like time that my kids are off doing their own thing, that I can do my own focus on my own thing, and like just take me and coddle me. And that's what I'll do for you. So there's a Google form. Fill it out, and I will send you like the link when registration opens on June 22nd to put a deposit down. So that's in the show notes, and I hope you have a great week. Bye 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 bye.